Millionaire Detective is about the dynamic duo of Haru and Daisuke. Haru is your by-the-book detective who believes in true justice and playing by the rules, but is stuck in the job squad because he has a fear of using guns, given that he is struck with PTSD whenever he pulls one out, as he flashes back to the time he shot someone when he was stopping a bank heist that was using a model gun. Daisuke is your Bruce Wayne / Tony Stark character who believes that money is always the answer, as his bank balance is unlimited. Thus he'll solve crimes however he wants, because he can simply pay double to the owner for whatever damage he does, allowing him to break the rules with impunity. But now, Daisuke and Haru must put aside their differences to solve the mystery afoot behind an assassination attempt with deep ties to a business tied to Daisuke's family, as well as making sure to hit every detective trope on the way there. Millionaire Detective looks to separate itself from the crowd with the titular Millionaire Detective, as Japanese Batman here can literally buy anything, thus creating a lot of visual spectacles with the lengths he goes to stop crime. From buying buildings to fire rockets at the gang that's using it as a hideout, to having basically a utility belt that he can pull out cool spy gadgets, which I assume either he or his sister made or bought. As well as channeling Tony Stark with his own Jarvis to instantly do any purchases he needs to do, as well as hack and plan out routes. But I would be lying if I said I wasn't entertained with the spectacle of it. Plus, the actual mystery of what happened is actually pretty good, even though some of the later parts turn into a twist city. So, when it comes down to the visuals and audio, it comes out looking good, but here's the giant asterisk to pop that giant ego of yours. As Haru and Daisuke are kinda weak on the character growth side of life, they bicker for most of the first half and begrudgingly work together in the second half, but that switch doesn't denote any change for them, as Haru and Daisuke basically still believe what they believe in. They're just fine with the other one being in the same room. Daisuke's tech helps lead Haru to finding his true justice, and Haru is a good distraction for when Daisuke needs to do the spy stuff. As for the rest of the cast, they're fine. Shosuke plays the ill detective well, as he looks to finish any last unfinished business he has before retiring. The jobber detectives that work with Haru have some funny bits. Then there's Daisuke's sister, Susui. Susui, on paper, is fine, as she works as a mechanic and sometimes assists to Daisuke's plans. But here's the issue. A lot of her effectiveness is only implied, as functionally she's more eye candy, especially in the intro. Also, gotta question the incest jokes. It remains a joke, at least, but were you so intimidated by the homoerotic undertones of buddy cop films that you had to make sure there was at least one canonical lady to ship with our protagonist, even if she's the sister to one of them? Even if you stick to the argument that this was only it for laughs, some of your story points are kinda questionable, like, why do you need a scene where she gets Daisuke under the covers so she can pass information without any of the surveillance picking it up? That's just teasing the incest angle, and when the camera's catching the two faking romance triggers some other alarms, or at least an uncomfortable trip to the family counselor. Additionally, the power scaling on the series is a bit off. By that I mean Daisuke has infinite money. He can literally do anything. So to create tension, you need to either create someone who can either A, cut him off from this credit card, B, have a power that can overwhelm him, or C, have the same exact power. In this series, there's 2, arguably 3 times this happens, and out of those, only one of them is when he's actively fighting. Of the others, one is circumvented because he isn't there, and the other one is solved by something pulled out of nowhere because the janitor had an extra key for the room he got stuck in when he got trapped with a bomb. As for Haru, he has decent plot armor to shrug off any injuries he might get while serving as a distraction. Like, he fell off a bridge and was like, yep, I'm fine, this is a cartoon. Also, he isn't the most important person in solving the cases, as he's like important maybe twice in the grand scheme of things. Daisuke mainly has everything covered because, you know, infinite money. The series is mainly for people who like mysteries, buddy cop films, the homoerotic undertones of buddy cop films, and series with spy tech. The series delivers on all of these, but I still think it could have been better. If they dropped the incest jokes, added some more character development, and maybe gave Haru a more defined role than a distraction, I'd be much more confident in recommending the series, and especially toward a general audience. But, c'est la vie. But hey, take this criticism as notes, and if you decide to do a second season, use that to improve the series, as I'm not opposed to more of this, but I would need a season of improvement if you want a better grade.